What is up, you guys? It's your boy Captain Jack. Welcome back to the channel. On this episode, we're going to go over, in my opinion, the best method for catching lobster. So let's dive right in. We are at my house and I'm preparing to go out on this lobstering expedition. It is the mini season. So it's like the mini season. There's one season before the main mini season, and it's for Florida residents only. So I get a little jump start, and I'm going to give you a quick run through of all of my gear really fast. So what I'm diving with is, it is in the summer, so I am just using a rash guard because it is going to be very, very hot. The water's going to be hot. I have some legs that's about like a 2 mil. This is a 1 mil, and the reason I do that is because it is going to be nice and hot, but I do want to have something to protect my arms from the coral, any jellies or anything like that I come across. It's always good to protect your skin because you don't know what's out there in the ocean and what can get you. Obviously, I have a weight belt. I don't need this, so I didn't bring this. Don't need that, it's an extra. Gloves, you need 2 gloves. I have the weight belt, and I'm a little on the weighted side, so I'm down there. I'm not fighting to stay down on the bottom. I'm kind of like down there neutral, and if anything, I just slowly raise up and I can just readjust myself. Also, I have my mask with a little GoPro in it, and this is something new. This is something I made. It is you can see what I did there, a zip tie on a weight with a GoPro case. So I drop it down, adjust it however I need to with this little arm thing. I get third-person views of me diving. So you guys will get a chance to see that. Everything will go inside of this dive bag, as well as my Moana fins. These things are amazing. Have some easy foot pockets. I also have little GoPro holder, a couple extra weights, extra mask, and that's it. And another trick that I do is I get baby shampoo, and I have a water bottle, and I do a little squirt of that in the water bottle. Well, I'll drink a little bit of the water bottle, then I'll put a little squirt of that, and that lasts me all day. If I ever take my mask off, you know, and then I need to defog my mask, I just put a little bit of that in there and we're good to go. And then the main thing I bring with me is this. There's a couple of hacks to it also. Mine is pretty beat up. It is a snare, and the way it's used is this. You'll see it in the video. It is, right now, it's open. Lobster tail goes in. You pull this and it tightens down on the tail, and what it does is once you pull it, it doesn't open up unless you hit this little lever. And once you hit that, so see nothing, once you hit that, opens up, and that way it's easy release for the lobster whenever you're letting them go. And I'll show you that in the video. And then also on the end of mine, I have a little rope with a lobster gauge on it. You can get these at your local dive shops, and there's little aluminum ones, and you measure the carapace. If you haven't seen a video, I will probably show you in this one. So we're gonna head out to the water. We're gonna be in my boat. We're gonna be diving shallow. I actually came across something a little bit disturbing when we went to our first spot, and it was very unfortunate. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll on the footage, and I'll see you guys out there on the water. All right, you guys, welcome to the voiceovers and welcome underwater. This is so disappointing to see, and it was literally the first spot we went to, and there was a boat on this spot and just moved off of this little patch reef. And I had a little words to say once I hit the surface after I saw this carcass. Hey, did you forget something? Did you guys forget this? Is that yours? It's a grouper carcass, freshly. Yeah, man. It's a grouper carcass. Somebody filleted and released it. What? So there honestly really wasn't much for me to do. There's nothing I can prove. The guy just said that there were other divers and boats there before he got there, which, I mean, what is he going to do? Really fess up to breaking the law and shooting a small grouper? But really disappointing to see. So this is going to be third person from my little GoPro. You can see the lobster at the bottom of the screen. And go ahead and hold your breath, take this dive with me, and I'm going to show you how to use this snare super effectively. So as I drop, you saw me kind of bring the snare in, and I use it as like a tickle stick to kind of get these lobster out of these holes, and it works perfectly to get them out. And once you get enough space behind the lobster and the tail, you can open up the little snare, scoop it around the tail, and just pull it in real quick, and now you got the lobster solidly, and you can bring him up to the surface. And to take him out, you just push that little button and it releases them nice and easy. So here's another vantage point, and this guy gets a little squirrely. You can see what happens whenever you don't get him, and then you can also see what happens when you get a second opportunity. So I do the same thing, kind of tickle him out, get the tail where it shows, have it narrow, open it up, get it right behind him. That guy kind of knew something was up. I do another take at him, and he shoots right through the snare. I was just not quick enough, but the thing about lobster is most likely they're going to shoot to a hole and rock up, and that's exactly what this guy did. He butts up against this piece of coral, get the snare, bring it over behind him, pull it in, and get a hold of the fit, or get a hold of the lobster, and you don't even have to touch them. You can just throw them straight in the boat, and I'll show you an example here in just a minute. So here's a little third person, and I can release the lobster with one hand, put it over the boat, push the button, drops right out. That's why I absolutely love the snare. Another huge perk for the snare is that I can actually go spearing with it. You can see our buddy Steve here is scuba diving, and he's using the tickle stick and the net, and you can see how full his hands are with this stuff. With the snare, you can just hook it onto your weight belt, and you can spear fish. You can, spear lionfish. You can do other things, and it's a great tool as opposed to keeping track of a tickle stick and a net. Here we go, take another dive with me, and you're gonna see everything from my vantage point from this point forward. In this area we're at, it's shallower, but again, these lobster are in some serious cracks and crevices, and honestly we left some at this spot because Steve and I both were like, screw these guys, they outbeat us. But usually what you get are nests like this where they're all nestled up together, and you can pluck, usually I go for the biggest ones first, and then smaller ones, if they go way back in the hole, I kind of just say screw it and I'll leave them, and they just let them repopulate the reef. Again, bouncing back to another perk of the snare is that if you tickle them and they dart back in there, it becomes a problem. But if you do it this way, you cinch down on them and snatch them out of the hole so they don't kick up dirt and soot and just make your hole where you're trying to work with all muddy. And again, another perk why I love the snare so much. So now I mentioned the lobster size. If you've never measured a lobster, make sure if you can, get a lobster gauge with only one measuring device on it. This one has crab and lobster, and make sure you're using the lobster gauge because it is different than the crab. You might get some shorts if you use the crab one, but you put the one in between the eyes and it pushes the eyes down, and the other end, if it drops over the back of the lobster, it is too short. If it stops, he's legal. And usually if it's really close, I don't take any chances. I just let him go because most likely we'll get one of size eventually. And here's another trick is when you are on a spot, especially in this area in this day, it was a little bit murky from the surface, kind of hard to make out the bottom, and you end up getting turned around. So what I do is I leave the snare down there, and it's that bright green visibility color. So I go ahead, once I duck under the surface, I can spot the exact spot I was working, grab a hold of the snare, and just start getting to work on some more lobster. Are we limited? Oh, okay. There's still more here. Get in there. All right, thank you DeSantis for this mini season. Little single day action. Oh, we got a runner. We got a runner. Mini season. Yeah. All right, so you just ring them, toss them, shove the duker out.
There it is. And then you eat it.
Yeah.
Well, once this thing's off, like a pistol.
Oh my god! Yeah, you put that in your mouth? Looked like you did.
I know. Well, that's why I want to do the video. I was giving you some content.
Dude, that was awesome.
Come on, I was giving you content. Did it look like it went right?
Yeah, dude, it really did. That's awesome.
If I do, I'll have to come back.
All right, we went in and got our limit, and we had a subscriber on the boat with us. This is Gian. What do you want to say to the fans?
Today was fun. Keep watching.
Yeah, that's what we like to hear. So we're gonna take you guys to whenever we cook this fish, well, not fish, lobster up. Do not go anywhere. All right, you guys, we are back at my crib, keeping it super simple to cook these guys up. So we cleaned them, we twisted their tails, got their antennas, de-pooped them. If you haven't seen one of those videos, check them out. It's one of my older videos. So I'm just gonna keep this one short and sweet. All I did was I got a pot and I put some Southern Palate seafood boil in there, but you can use anything. You can use Old Bay, you can use Tony Sass. I mean, you can use anything. But you wanna get it to a rolling boil. Guys, this is the best part. I'm gonna cook 2 tails and I have them here. And this is all you do. You ready? Ready for this? To prep this and to make it, you drop one tail in, and then you drop the other tail in, and then you shut it off. That's it. You don't even remove the pot from the burner. You just let it sit there, let it cool an hour or so, and then all you do is you wait. You wait, and it slowly cooks it. And this is a way you won't overcook it. And we're probably gonna give this about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And I'm just gonna go walk around and do stuff. And it's literally cooking without me even having to entertain it. I'm gonna do a little bit of editing, and then I will see you guys back in the kitchen once this stuff cools down. So they've been cooling for quite a while. Look at these, all seasoned up. And I'm just gonna let them drip dry. And the thing is, you can do multiple things with this, but I'm gonna show you what I do to prep them. As you get them, straighten them out, lay them flat. You can do this multiple ways. Get a knife, put it dead center on top of them, and just hammer it down. And that cuts right through it. I mean, you can go as deep as you want, but end game is to get it like this. And then from here, you just grab the meat. You can go from the tail over to the front and just pull it out. And you're left with these giant nugget. Hold on. You are left, sorry about the lighting, but you're left with these beautiful morsels. And what you could do is you can chop them up into little pieces, and you can either cut them into nugget size and dip them in some cocktail sauce and eat them, or you can do what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna dice them up, and I'm gonna throw them on the salad and test them out. And they'll have a little bit of spice, and I'll probably do some sweet, but I'm just gonna test it. Look at that. I'm just mashing it. I barely have to cut. Look at that, I barely have to cut. And it looks so freaking tender and juicy. And this, it's so soft, and I didn't overcook it. Very spicy. It has a lot of that seafood blend. Did you want some? Huh? You're a little tail end. Tiva will smash some lobster. You want some? Oh, it's spicy. Good luck with that one. But yeah, I'm gonna dice these up nice and tender, and I'm gonna just throw them on a bed of lettuce, and I'm just gonna enjoy. I'm so stoked I was able to bring this short little episode to you guys. I hope you learned a lot. Comment below if you did. If you have any suggestions or any other questions, feel free to comment below. Give this video that thumbs up, share it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week for another adventure. Later.